Hey guys, what's up? It's Pro Talk Washington here with another video. Today, we are going to do the final mock draft before the 2024 NFL Draft. We are using the PFN Mock Draft Simulator. I really enjoy their mock draft simulator, so if you're looking for one, I definitely recommend this one. We are going to do a one-round mock draft with all 32 NFL teams, and yeah, let's get started. So first off, we have the Chicago Bears. And I think everyone knows this as it's obviously going to be Caleb Williams. At this point, he already signed a contract with them.
Don't laugh, you are not funny.
But with the second overall pick with the Washington Commanders, it's a very interesting one because I really have no clue who they're going to pick. Like, not really have any clue. But I'm just going to go with what I thought at the beginning. At first, I went Drake May, and then, like, past 2 weeks I've been like Jaden Daniels, but now I'm kind of back to Drake May. So yeah, so the second overall pick will be Drake May. I really do not care who they pick because I'm just gonna trust in Adam Peters making in this front office making the future quarterback, hopefully the future quarterback of the future for this franchise. But on to the third overall pick for the New England Patriots. There's a lot of speculation that the Patriots could trade out this pick, as recent news that they're open to trade out the pick, but if not, then probably a quarterback. But you never know. I think it'll be Jaden Daniels, quarterback out of LSU for the New England Patriots. On to pick 4. A lot of people could say Arizona could trade out of the pick, and potentially the Vikings. As the Vikings are on the phone with Arizona, but Arizona does not want to trade out this pick, and they're just gonna stick with what they think is best for the future in Marvin Harrison Jr. As he's the top. He may be the top prospect in the draft, but I think it's Caleb Williams, but second, definitely Marvin Harrison, as Marvin Harrison is the best receiver prospect that we've seen in a very long time. On to pick 5. A lot of people are probably thinking Minnesota is trading up here. Well, they want to, but the Chargers do not. They want to get their guy. As a lot of people are going to say Malik Nabers, but a lot of people are going to say Joe Alt. But I think it's Joe Alt. I just think this could be a run first team. They're Jim Harbaugh. Sign Gus Edwards, sign J.K. Dobbins. They do have Justin Herbert, but they have no receivers. A lot of people could be like they could go receiver because they have no receivers, but a lot of people can be like Joe Alt because he's the best offensive tackle prospect in a very long time. He's honestly a generational offensive tackle prospect. As I think this might be a run first team after Michigan was a run first team, and obviously the Chargers got Jim Harbaugh. But I think this will be Joe Alt at number 5 overall. Number 6 overall, I think this is a no-brainer. A lot of people could be, oh, they could go J.J. McCarthy. Oh, they could go Brock Bowers. Oh, they could go Rome Odunze. Or they could go an offensive tackle. But I think this can be Malik Nabers. A lot of people are thinking that this can be a receiver, whether it be Rome Odunze or Malik Nabers. But I just think Malik Nabers is the best all-around receiver in this draft. And he will be drafted by the New York Giants. But yeah. On to the number 7th overall, as the Tennessee Titans are kind of bummed that they didn't get Joe Alt, as they were probably the favorite for Joe Alt right now. But they're gonna go with this. You can argue Talise Fuaga here. You can argue Illumier Fashanu. But I think this will be Olu Fashanu here. I think he's the second best prospect at offensive tackle behind Joe Alt. On to pick 8. This could be Rome Odunze. This could be a Terrion Arnold. This could be Dallas Turner. But I just think this will be Dallas Turner, as he just probably the best edge in this draft. You can argue Jared Verse here because he's probably the best overall out of all the aspects in a pass rusher that you can have in this draft. But Dallas Turner is just a speed right off the edge to pair with Montez Sweat. On to the 9th pick. A lot of people could say the Bears could trade out of this pick. They could not. But I think this will be the edge rusher out of Florida State and Jared Verse. As pick 8. It was Dallas Turner at pick 8, and I said Montez Sweat, but I misspoken clearly there. I meant Jared Verse to the Bears would pair up with Montez Sweat. Sorry about that. I think you know what I was trying to say though.
No, we didn't.
Jared Verse is an all-around best edge rusher in this draft, as I said. I think a lot of people can argue that he's the best edge rusher in this draft. But in this case, second best. On to with the New York Jets. A lot of people can argue Rome Odunze here, or Talise Fuaga, or honestly Terrion Arnold. But I think the favorite here, at least what I think, will be the elite tight end, Brock Bowers. He's the best prospect tight end since Kyle Pitts. I don't know if he's a better prospect than Kyle Pitts, but we'll just see in the future. I think Kyle Pitts will be a lot better with an actual quarterback in Kirk Cousins. On to pick 11, as the Vikings were trying to trade up with the Cardinals and the Chargers, but the Cardinals and Chargers declined. But in this case, the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy just falls right into their laps at pick 11. So a lot of people can argue the Broncos could have traded up, but in this case they do not, and they are going to go with. Actually, I thought about this before, but I kind of forgot who I was thinking for them to pick. Let's let me look on my board that I have. This is gonna be Terrion Arnold to pair up with Pat Surtain, Terrion Arnold out of Bama. I think he's the best cornerback prospect in this draft, and he is one of the best cornerback prospects in the last couple of years. Obviously Pat Surtain is the best out of these couple of years, and in this draft he's going to pair up with the young stud cornerback Pat Surtain. And on with the Las Vegas Raiders. A lot of people can argue Michael Penix here. I just don't think he's a first rounder. A lot of people can argue potentially Rome Odunze or edge rusher or Johnny Newton or Byron Murphy. But I think this will be Talise Fuaga. I think this is the best fit for the Las Vegas Raiders here, as he is a great pass blocker and run blocker, mainly known for his pass blocking, but I think he'll just be a solid, great, more than solid offensive tackle in this draft. I think a lot of people can say he's the second best offensive tackle, but he has fallen to the Las Vegas Raiders at pick 13. Pick 14, the Saints. A lot of people can argue offensive tackle here in Troy Fautanu or Marius Mims or J.C. Latham or Graham Barton or Laiatu Latu. But I think the pick here is Rome Odunze to pair up with Chris Olave. I think this is a great pick for the Saints, as they may have not have thought that he was going to fall all the way down at 14. And another pass catcher for Derek Carr. On with the Indianapolis Colts. As it's going to be an edge rusher, but I think this will be cornerback in Quinion Mitchell, as a lot of people would say he's the best cornerback in this draft, but in this case he's the second best cornerback in this draft, and goes to pick 15 to the Indianapolis Colts. Seattle Seahawks. This could go Laiatu Latu, Troy Fautanu, Marius Mims, Grant Barton, Jackson Ben Powers, J.C. Latham, Johnny Newton. This could go really anywhere. But I think the best fit for them is a stud guard in Troy Fautanu. Jacksonville Jaguars. They could go defensive back, they could go receiver, they could go defensive tackle. But I just think they have key pieces in their defensive line, as they brought in Eric Armstead. So I think that they just need to upgrade their secondary to pair up with Tyson Campbell in the stud DB in Cooper DeJean. Okay, Cincinnati Bengals at pick 18. As a lot of people can argue offensive line or defensive tackle as a replacement for DJ Reader, or they could go receiver in a replacement for Tyler Boyd. But I really don't see a receiver that is going to overpower my pick, that I think they will draft in a defensive tackle in Johnny Newton out of Illinois as a replacement for DJ Reader Jr. On to pick 19, the Los Angeles Rams. I think this is a favorite in all the mock drafts that I've seen. Laiatu Latu out of UCLA, an edge rusher to pair up with Byron Young, the stud rookie from last year. To pair up Laiatu Latu to pair up with him. He's going to go with pick 19 to the Los Angeles Rams. So the Steelers, a lot of people could say, oh, Marius Mims. But I just feel like that they need a receiver, as there is some depth in offensive tackle that they could probably get Kingsley Sumatea or Jordan Morgan or Patrick Paul later. And I just think they have better receivers right now that they can take in Brian Thomas Jr. He is a big guy. He is a big guy to pair up with George Pickens, and a stud receiver out of LSU to give Russell Wilson or Justin Fields a receiver to pair up with George Pickens. On to the Miami Dolphins, as they need interior offensive line, offensive tackle, defensive tackle, receiver, or defensive back. I think they will go up with Graham Barton, as he can be a center for him or guard. But I think he's the best interior offensive lineman in this draft. As he's projected to be an elite guard or center in the NFL, but he played offensive tackle at Duke in college. On to the Philadelphia Eagles. So a lot of people could go interior offensive line for the Eagles, offensive tackle as a replacement for their aged offensive line or offensive tackles, but I don't think they will take an offensive tackle at 22. I think this will be Jackson Powers Johnson to replace the amazing Jason Kelsey. On to the Minnesota Vikings. A lot of people can argue they already took a quarterback, a brain fart. Oh my gosh. So check on quarterback. So they could take a receiver. They could take a cornerback. They can take a linebacker. I think there's more depth at linebacker. You can argue more depth at receiver too, but I think this will just be a DB in Nate Wiggins out of Clemson for the Minnesota Vikings. On to the Dallas Cowboys. This pick right here, I sadly say that the Cowboys will do pick Amarius Mims, but I'm considering now, as I'm editing this, that Washington could trade up in front of the Cowboys to get Amarius Mims. In case Washington hasn't moved up yet, they might do later, but I guess you just have to stay tuned to find out if they do trade up into the first round. Packers can argue offensive line. You can argue defensive back. You can argue linebacker here. But I think this is a fall for J.C. Latham, and he falls right into Packers' laps. Bucks can argue cornerback. You can argue edge rusher, offensive tackle, interior offensive line, or receiver. But I think this just they need depth at edge rusher, and I think this is a perfect place for Chop Robinson to land. Arizona Cardinals, as they pick the stud Marvin Harrison Jr., they could go interior offensive line, they can go defensive back. But I think this is a perfect opportunity for Zach Frazier, the offensive third best offensive center out of West Virginia. Zach Frazier goes 27th overall pick to the Arizona Cardinals. Buffalo Bills, a lot of people can argue defensive tackle, defensive back, offensive line, offensive tackle, but I think the need for them most is a receiver, and the receiver for the best receiver for them right now is Adonai Mitchell out of Texas. Pick 29 for the Detroit Lions. You can argue cornerback, edge, rusher, or receiver. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for Kool-Aid McKinstry. On to the Ravens here. As I was thinking about this pick, I was thinking you can argue Tyler Guyton, the right tackle, to protect Lamar Jackson, or you can go with another receiver, an Xavier Worthy or Ladd McConkey or Keon Coleman. And I was thinking about this pick for a while, and I think it'll be Xavier Worthy out of Texas. Because I just think they need a receiver more than a tackle. Because Lamar Jackson is so athletic that he can evade sacks if he needs to. But if he doesn't have good enough receivers, then they don't get open. He's eventually going to get sacked, So I think they get a stud receiver in Xavier Worthy, a very speedy receiver, Xavier Worthy, to pair up with the stud rookie from last year in Zay Flowers. Sorry, I forgot his name for a second. Zay Flowers. 49ers pick. They could go defensive back. They could go offensive tackle. They could go an edge rusher. They can go receiver. But I think you just gotta protect Brock Purdy and go. Or yeah, I think you protect Brock Purdy and go with Tyler Guyton, the right tackle out of Oklahoma. Lastly, the Kansas City Chiefs can go offensive tackle, cornerback, safety, an edge rusher, or receiver here. You can go with TJ Tampa, you can go with Tyler Nubin, but you can also go with Darius Robinson, or you can go with Kingsley Suamatea, the offensive tackle out of BYU. That was my 2024 NFL mock draft. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And this might be realistic. This could not be realistic at all, but I hope you enjoyed this. And I did a bunch of research before this, to know the needs of all the teams, and this took me a lot of time. So make sure to support the channel, and I'll probably do a reaction to Washington picks a couple days after the draft, maybe. And I'll see you in the next video. Hope y'all enjoyed this, and I'll see you in another video. Peace.